Hi, and welcome to Community Hotline. My name is Monica Weitzel. We're here at MetroEast Community Media in Gresham, Oregon. Glad you joined us tonight. We have with us a couple of ladies who are going to share with us about Providence Elderplace. Here to represent Providence Elderplace, I have Debbie Davis, the Senior Community Outreach Person, and Xenia Balaj, you are the Lead Intake and Referral Specialist.
Correct.
Thanks for being here, both of you.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
You bet. Now, Providence Elderplace has been around for a little while, right? And can you tell me a little bit of the history and maybe
Sure, I'd be happy to.
Okay.
So we are part of a national model of care called PACE, Program for All-Inclusive Care for the Elderly, which really birthed itself out of the Asian community in San Francisco. And this was 37 years ago.
So you've been around a while.
So it has been around a while. So that community found, you know, the culture was that they wanted to take care of mom and dad. They didn't want to put them away somewhere.
Right.
So they formed a day center where they could drop their folks off. Then they found they were missing work, taking them to the doctor. So they got medical services in there. And that's what started the PACE model. And it showed that it really had great outcomes when you have that kind of, it's like an interdisciplinary team of medical professionals in a day center setting. It has great outcomes for the elderly, or the aging population. So then we were part of the first demonstration project. There were 5 of us, and we're still here. We've been here 26 years now.
Wow. Yeah, that's great.
And we serve our folks out of 10 health and social centers, like the one in San Francisco. So we're in a number of counties. We're here, been here 26 years.
In Multnomah County?
In Multnomah County. We've been in Washington County 2 years. February 1st, we opened Clackamas County, and we're in Seaside. So we cover Clatsop and part of Tillamook County.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So when you say you have different centers, 10 different ones you said?
10.
Is that right? Okay. What is that, the centers? Are they different from each other?
They all look different, but they are the same because it's the same model. And we have 3 that are housing. So we're not in the housing business.
Okay.
We're not.
But I knew that there were some that were housing. So are most of them day centers or?
They're all day centers.
They're all day centers.
So we call them our health and social center. That's where the medical clinic is located. The 3 that have housing, it would be the folks live there, their clinic is on site, and the day center's on site, so they don't have to go out to see their doctor.
Talk about convenient.
Right.
It's very convenient.
Yeah. So tell me about this. How do people get into this system? I mean, I know, we're all getting older, and the baby boomer generation is, we're moving into that age now, but we've been having to take care of our parents.
Sure.
Most of us have,
Sure.
or in one way or another, and that's always a really stressful thing for people to have to make decisions. So, how do people get into the
Well, I would say our greatest referral source is through the counties, case managers. We are 98% Medicaid, Medicare.
Oh, okay.
So we're serving a very frail population, and these case managers are managing these folks, and we get a lot of referrals from them. We get referrals from medical professionals and also social service agencies like placement consultants, elder attorneys.
And then word of mouth, family.
Yes.
One family
and
to
friends,
another, right.
And our website. And Xenia is the one that takes that first call. So when somebody calls us, they've heard about us from somewhere.
Right.
And Xenia's the one that takes the very first call, the intake and referral call. And
So who qualifies? What is the age you have to be in, and are there certain income levels, that kind of thing?
The qualifiers are they have to be 55 or older, be residing or willing to move into one of our service areas, the counties that Debbie mentioned. They need to be at a place where they're not independent, but are at a place now where they're starting to need that care, which is the calls I get. Family members calling, mom fell, she's in the hospital, can't go back home, what do I do?
Yeah.
And so that mom would be an option, would be a great candidate for Elderplace, in that now that because she can't go back home, meaning that her frailty level increased because of the fall, and so we can come in and hopefully be able to provide services back in the home for her. If she's able to go back home with our program, that would be a real plus.
Oh, okay, so they can stay in their own house, their own home.
And we have contracted in-home providers because we're the medical piece,
Right.
that come in and help support them in the home. Then they make trips to our day center where their medical professionals are. So we pick them up in our buses
I've seen the
wherever they
buses
live.
all over town.
And we drive them to their site, their health and social center. They have a day of activities, and that's a big piece of our model, the life enrichment piece, because when you get older, you get depressed and isolated.
Isolation's a huge. It affects their health, not just their mental health, but their physical health. Yeah.
And then if they need to see their medical provider, and that includes their PT, OT, speech, dietitian, dentist, audiologist, their
Dentist too, all of that is-
we do it all.
Wow.
It's all included.
Right.
Then we make sure that that's taken care of when they come into the health and social center.
That's great. And then just being there, having the social aspect of it too. I imagine the people that are working there also are able to kind of be eyes as to, this person needs something else, right?
Well, I'll give you a great example. We had, this happens more than often than not, the transportation drivers pick up the same group of folks every single time.
So they get to know them.
So they really get to know them. In fact, they have our highest customer satisfaction scores.
Really?
Of all, yes,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
they touch everybody every time.
Yeah.
So if they notice something's really amiss with Mary Jane, they're going to come back into their center and say there's something going on. She's not her
not herself.
usual self.
Yeah.
So immediately the aides would take their blood pressure. The social worker would come in and find out, is this, did you have an argument, or did something happen?
Yeah.
And if not, then the medical side comes in. Could it be a UTI? Could something be going on medically? So we try to approach everything proactively. And that's the success of the model, is that we are proactive, not reactive.
That's great. Instead of waiting till, and people that are home by themselves, if they don't have family around them or people to support them, often just wait. They don't want to bother anybody,
No.
or they just, they don't want to take the time or the effort to do that. So that's great.
And as they decline, Monica, they become even more entrenched in their isolation because they don't want people to see them.
The harder it is, Well, especially perhaps they can't groom themselves
Yes.
properly. I mean,
That's a
you have
big
people that
piece.
can help with that part of it.
Yes,
Yeah.
we do all that.
Yeah. That's great. So, Xenia, when people come and they're checking out Elderplace, do you give them tours and show them,
We do.
your
We
facility?
do that. So first, the first task is explaining the program to them. Because it's an all-inclusive program, it's sometimes hard for them to grasp the fact that we will do all, if not more, of what they've been doing being a caregiver for a family member.
Being a
And so when
caregiver is so hard.
when we
It is,
explain all the services, from the primary care to being their health insurance, providing the day center for activities to give them respite and time away so that they can, have their own special
Keep
time
their own
away.
health.
Right, to keep their own health.
Very important.
It's really, when I hear that sigh of relief over the phone and kind of like, you really do that? You really do all these services? And yes, and then they want to see what the center looks like. So we can, sometimes Debbie will do the tours, or some of the staff at the sites, the different sites will take them on a tour. And it depends, because it's either the health and social center because they want to stay at home, or they want to see some of the housing options that we have. So there's a variety of different types of tours. And then we also offer them to come in, not just a tour, but they can partake of lunch they're going to have, then partake of the activities that go on, so they get a whole day of experiencing what it would be like to be at the Health and Social Center.
And then if it's the kids that are bringing mom or dad in there, they can get a feel for whether or not they're going to be comfortable there.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
And sometimes they want to bring in mom or dad.
Yeah.
And so that's where we can do the lunch and that type of day.
What about all the paperwork that's involved with all the medical stuff? Are you able to help at all with that?
Oh, we sit down with them. We have a next step after Xenia is intake and enrollment. And then they go out and they sit down with all the enrollment because not only are we their health provider, but we are their insurance. So we may have Providence at the front of our name, but Elderplace the PACE model has its own insurance. It's like an HMO.
Okay.
So they become enrolled with us, and then we do all that paperwork with them, and then we notify their former insurance company that they are now on the PACE model.
So, and if people have issues with it, because going through insurance stuff is really overwhelming for people. I mean, it's overwhelming for me, and I know, it can be one of those things that people just don't want to deal with. So, are there people that can help them?
Oh,
with
we
it?
do. We take care of all that with them.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that alone will be worth a lot to me.
Right.
So, why wouldn't somebody use the Elderplace system? I mean, obviously, not everybody goes there. Is it something that's for everybody, or are there people that really don't fit into that kind of a system?
Well, there's some that don't. The main reasons would be, of course, age. They're not 55 or older.
Okay.
We do get a lot of folks calling, and they're in their early 50s. Physically, they would qualify for Elderplace, but age-wise, they don't.
Okay.
The other piece is the service areas. They have to be in our service area or be willing to move into the service area. So sometimes that's not an option. And then those folks that are still independent. I have a lot of callers, they're calling themselves that are 80 and 90, and they're very strong, and they're active, and they're swimming, and they're driving, but they heard about our program and are really interested, and they don't qualify because they're still too independent.
Yeah, all right.
The other piece is this: sometimes they're very attached to their insurance provider, and they don't want to step away from that. And the other thing that we do is we surround them with geriatricians. So they have a primary care doctor, a nurse, a social worker, all the other disciplines. And by doing that, then they step aside from their current primary care provider.
So some people who are very, I've had the same doctor for years and years and years. Yeah, and I can understand that.
Yeah, we can
because you build a relationship with your doctor.
Yes.
Yeah, if that's the case. Then.
But if we can get them in the center, and they kind of meet the team, it's amazing. I have never known anyone that has ever not embraced and been happy with the model.
Right. That's quite a statement, Debbie. It really is.
I mean, our disenrollments are usually natural. People that pass away, and or they're moving out of our catchment area, going like to New York with family. That's what we normally see if somebody disenrolls from us.
What about the money involved? How does that compare, like the insurance compared to other insurance? I mean, is it significantly more expensive for them to be part of the Elderplace? I hate to ask the money questions, but that's something they probably ask you. So.
Well, they do. A lot of the folks that are with us are on Medicaid, so they receive Medicaid and then Medicare.
Okay.
So the way it works with us is we capture those dollars, and we get a capitated amount for everyone that's in our program. So we get one set amount for everyone. We take that capitated amount, Medicaid, Medicare, and we make it work for everyone. So Xenia's mother may need more services than, let's say, your aunt.
Yeah.
And so we're kind of pulling out of the pool and doing it here.
And later on that may reverse and everything could change, but you still are providing the services for everyone.
And a lot of folks do what we call a spend down with us. So if they're private, they have private money, then they join us privately, and they're spending their money down, and then they roll right onto Medicaid, which is
that's interesting.
And that's that's something we would discuss with each individual person.
Yeah. So, how long have you been there?
I've been there 8 years.
8 years. Have you been there a while?
Yes.
About
How
that
long have I
long?
been there?
Oh, she's been there forever.
17?
Really?
17
Oh, wow.
years, yeah.
So, what would you say you're most proud of as being a part of Elderplace? What is what service or what is it that you would tell somebody is like the best thing about it that you're proud of?
I think the passion that everyone, all the staff have for the program and for the people that we serve. I see that when I visit the different centers and health and social centers, and have sat in on what we call the interdisciplinary team meetings when they're discussing the different folks, and you just see the staff really invested in each person. It's not just, well, let's just talk about Mary real quick and go on to the next. Everyone is important to the staff, and then you also see the relationships that our participants, as we call them, form with not only their medical team, but the rest of the folks that are there from the CNAs to the volunteers to the life enrichment staff, and they bond with one another. And I think that's a really precious thing.
That's
and
huge.
You don't see that when you're going to your doctor once a year or once every 6 months.
Especially if they're all different places and they're not talking to each other.
Right.
And I know more and more places are trying to do that, but Elderplace has already done it.
Well, you see bits and pieces of that, Monica. You do. You see day centers. You see some like assisted living that have a doctor come in. You know, so you have pieces of it, but we are the whole thing.
You've already done it, and it's already perfected, really.
Exactly.
It sounds like. What about? Tell me a little bit about the day centers. What are some of the things that people do there?
Oh my gosh! Well, we're involved with Memories in the Making, which is an Alzheimer's program. This is for folks that are in early stage. It's an art program.
Okay.
So we do a lot of artwork. We have at our Irvington site, I love this, they have a beanbag baseball thing that they do that they take on tour.
Take on tour?
Yeah.
Like they compete?
To other assisted living communities. I mean, it's fabulous.
I love it.
And then
fun.
you go to our Gresham site. We have 2 sites here in Gresham. You go to our Gresham site, and they do amazing. They're having a Star Wars month next month, and then they have a 60s group where you have people playing 60s music and telling stories about that time. But they also have games.
We have
and we have
the graduation
art.
for, I can't remember the...
Oh, the computer, the academy.
The academy,
The
right.
academy.
Right.
So much goes on there. I mean, life enrichment is a huge piece of the model. So.
Well, it's a huge piece of staying healthy, isn't
Right.
it? I mean,
Yes. And we don't want to just do bingo. We have a younger population coming in. They want to play bridge or cribbage or
pinochle or whatever.
They want to do
Dominoes,
other things.
yeah.
And we do a lot of outings. So we do a ton of outings.
Like, give an example of something.
Okay, recently, I'll go back to Star Wars. Gresham just took a bunch of people to the new Star Wars movie.
Yeah.
They go to the tulip farm. They go fishing. Gosh, they do a ton of stuff.
Do they kind of get a feel from the people that are there what they want to do?
Oh, yes.
And try to
Well, they do also the Make-A-Wish. What do we call
yes.
it? Do we call it Make-A-Wish?
Oh, yes, when you're at end of life, we do the Make-A-Wish where
like what's on your bucket list kind of thing?
Well, we
Right.
grant them a last, whatever it is they want. We've taken folks to the coast.
Motorcycles.
Motorcycles.
Motorcycle club
yes.
come.
Yeah.
Yes, the whole team, this
nice.
whole motorcycle group came.
They're great.
But one that was in our where did I read it? In our newsletter that really touched me was a gentleman who has always wanted to see the Blue Angels.
Oh yeah.
And you know they don't come here
I think
often.
I read that article.
Yeah, and he wanted to do that, and it just happened that following year or that year they found out they were going to be at the air show here in Hillsborough. And so they worked it out where he was able to go, and not only go, but meet one of the pilots who happened to be a woman on top of that, one of the few or first women in the Blue Angels. And that was something that, was a memory, a great memory.
Great to be able to do
and I
that.
loved that story when I heard that.
That's wonderful.
We do.
Well, we're just about out of time. So the things that I got out of this is that this is a very comprehensive program. It's a very caring program, but it may not fit everyone, but you just need to be 55, live in their service area, but contact you. You can check it out.
Call us with any questions. If you're not sure based on what you've heard here that your family member would qualify, call us anyways, and we can explain it and find out if they are eligible.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Thank
Yes,
you. Thank you both so much.
Thanks for having
You're
us.
welcome.
This was
You're
great.
welcome.
Thank
Good.
you.
Thank you. Thanks so much for watching this first segment of Community Hotline. The information for Elderplace should be on the screen, so check it out. It may be the perfect fit for you or one of your loved ones. And don't go away. We'll be right back.